The cold metal table felt harder than usual. Karela sat quietly, her strong arms resting on her legs. She looked calm, but inside her chest, her heart was heavy. The medical lights above her hummed softly. 3 alien doctors stood behind her. Screen. They spoke in low voices, thinking she couldn't hear. "She's too large," one said. "Her inner systems can't carry life," another added. "She was born wrong," the third whispered. "This is her 5th test. It's over." Karela closed her eyes. Every word felt like a cut. She had tried for years. She followed every rule, every diet, every treatment. But the answer was always the same. She could never be a mother. Her. People tall, powerful beings from the world of Valinara believed strength came from bloodlines. If you couldn't pass your strength to a child, you were seen as broken. Karela stood tall, stronger than most warriors. But to them, she was a failure. A soft beep came from the machine beside her. The test was over. She pulled her long robe over her body and left the room. The hallway was empty, except for one man, a human. His name was Ethan. He wore a clean white medic uniform, and a small bag hung from his shoulder. His skin was pale, his hair short and dark. He looked small next to her. Karela ignored him and walked past. But Ethan stepped beside her. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. She didn't stop. "Do I look okay?" "I don't know." "You look strong. But strength hides pain sometimes." Karela stopped. That was new. Most aliens looked at her like a machine. He sounded like he saw something else. "Why do you care?" she asked. "I was in the waiting area. I saw your test results pop up. By accident. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to invade your privacy." Karela narrowed her eyes. "Then why speak to me?" Ethan hesitated, then said, "Because I think they're wrong." She blinked. "Wrong?" He nodded. "Your scans showed high hormone levels. There's activity. Maybe not for your species methods, but human methods might work differently." Karela laughed bitterly. "Human methods? You think your kind can fix what 5 of my doctors failed to? I think you deserve to try, and I know humans don't give up that easily." She stared at him. No one had ever said anything like that before. Not her leaders. Not her sisters. Not even the doctors. Just this small human. "You don't even know me," she said softly. Ethan smiled. "Not yet. But I know someone who's been hurt too many times when all she wanted was a chance." Karela felt her throat tighten. She looked away. "Even if I say yes, your people and mine don't mix." "It's not allowed. I've broken rules before," Ethan said. "Sometimes rules are made by people who are afraid of what's possible." She looked at him again. Really looked. He wasn't joking. He believed it. Silence passed between them, and Karela said, "Fine, but I won't hope again. Not unless you give me a reason to." "I will," Ethan said, holding out his hand. "Let's start with one scan. My scan." She looked at his hand. So small, so warm, so different. Still, she placed her hand in his. Maybe this was foolish. Maybe nothing would work. But for the first time, Karela felt something she hadn't felt in years. A spark. And sometimes, a spark is all it takes to light a fire. The scatter flickered. Karela's heart stopped. The screen showed something she had never seen before movement. "Ethan," she whispered. "What? What is that?" He leaned closer, eyes wide. That could be life. The small medbay Ethan had set up was hidden under the cargo station. It wasn't fancy, just a table, a few machines, and one glowing screen. But to Karela, it felt like a forbidden's temple. She sat on the table, nervous. Her people didn't mix with humans. This was risky, even dangerous. But Ethan's eyes were calm, gentle, like a quiet river. He never rushed her, never judged Dot as... The scanner moved over her body. A strange silence filled the room. Karela broke it. "Why are you helping me?" Ethan looked up, surprised. "You still don't believe I care?" "No," she said. "I don't understand it. My people avoid yours. They say humans are soft, weak. You don't follow rules." Ethan smiled. "They're right. We don't follow rules." "If the rules are wrong..." Karela raised a brow. "You think my people are wrong?" "I think no one should be told they can't be a mother because of how they were born." Karela looked away. That word mother hurt so much. It had been a dream once. Then it became a wound. "Back on Earth," Ethan continued, "my sister was told she couldn't have children. She cried for weeks. Doctors gave up, but she tried something new. A mix of treatments, some not even tested yet. It worked." "And the child?" Karela asked. "She has two now," Ethan said proudly. "A boy and a girl. Perfect in every way." Karela stayed quiet. Then she whispered, "What if I'm not meant for this? What if I'm just broken?" "You're not," Ethan said firmly. "You're just ... different." That word again. Different. It had always been used to hurt her. But when Ethan said it, it didn't sound like an insult. It sounded like a key. Suddenly, the machine beeped. The screen flickered. Karela's body tensed. "What is it?" Ethan's face changed. Slowly, he leaned in. "Look," he said softly. Karela stared. A tiny pulse. A flicker of light. A rhythm. It wasn't much, but it was something. "Movement," Ethan said. "Small, but it's there." Karela's breath caught. She didn't dare believe it. That could mean... "It could mean a lot," Ethan replied. "But we'll need more scans, more data." Karela placed her hand on her stomach. Her fingers trembled. Ethan watched her, then added, "You have a choice now. We can go slow. Keep this secret. Or we can talk to the Alliance. Make this official." She shook her head. "If my leaders find out, they'll call it a mistake. They might even try to stop it. Then we keep it between us," Ethan said, "until we know more." Karela looked at him, this strange little human with fire in his voice. For the first time, someone was on her side. Not because of duty, not because of law, but because he chose to be. She nodded. "We keep it quiet, but promise me something." "Anything," Ethan said. "If this ends in pain, you won't pity me." Ethan stepped forward. His hand reached for hers. "I won't pity you, Karela. I'll stand with you." As they packed the machines and turned off the lights, Karela felt something in her chest. Not hope, not yet, but trust. And sometimes trust is even stronger. Asterisk. Medical access denied. The door's warning light blinked red. Karela turned to Ethan. "They've locked us out," she said. Ethan stared at the door and whispered, "They know." Karela's mind raced as she walked through the silent halls of the station. Every step felt heavier. The scan had shown something living. It was still early, still weak. But it was real. And now, someone knew. When they returned the next day to the med bay, the door was sealed. A red light flashed across the panel. Ethan tried his code again. Access denied. Karela stepped back. This is not good. They must have seen the scan logs. Ethan nodded. If they report this, we'll be shut down. Karela felt panic rise. Not for herself, but for the tiny life possibly growing inside her. We have to try again. Somewhere safe. Ethan thought for a moment. I know a place. Old cargo bay. Used for storage. Off the cameras. Karela gave him a sharp look. You've done this before? Ethan smiled faintly. You'd be surprised how many rules I've broken to help people. They waited until the station lights dimmed for night cycle. Quiet shadows filled the halls. Together, they slipped through service paths and climbed into the old cargo bay. The room smelled of metal and dust. But it was private, safe. For now, Ethan powered up a small portable scanner. Karela lay back on a makeshift table made from supply crates. The scan showed the same flicker as before, but stronger now. There it is, Ethan said. Still small, but growing. Karela stared at the screen, eyes wide. It's real, she whispered. It's really happening. But joy didn't last long. Suddenly, footsteps echoed. Outside, Ethan shut off the scanner and dimmed the lights. They listened, quiet breaths. Then a voice deep and cold. She's in there, said the station guard. Karela's pulse raced. They sent soldiers? Ethan grabbed her hand. Come. On. Through the back hatch. They ran through tight metal tunnels and rusted vents, finally reaching the maintenance zone. Only then did they stop to breathe. Karela leaned against the wall. They will exile me. Maybe worse. Ethan looked at her. Let them try. I'll speak for you. She shook her head. You're human. They won't listen. Then I'll make them listen, Ethan said. We'll show them what this child means. What you mean. Karela was silent for a moment, then asked softly, Why do you keep doing this? This isn't your fight. Ethan looked into her eyes. It is now. The next day, Ethan stood in front of the medical board. 3 high-ranking officials sat behind a long desk. Cold eyes watched him. You are accused of illegal medical practices, one said, on a non-human subject, without permission. Ethan didn't flinch. I did what your doctors refused to do. Offer her a chance. She is incompatible, another added. Her kind cannot carry young. You've given her false hope. Ethan placed a small holodisk on the table. It played the scan. The flicker. The heartbeat. Silence filled the room. She's carrying life, Ethan said. That's not hope. That's truth. The board members exchanged looks. This is a risk we can't take, the head said. If it fails, it will spark chaos among both species. This child is not supposed to exist. Ethan stepped closer. Then maybe it's time your rules changed. That night, Karela waited in the dark shelter of a forgotten bay. She watched the stars through a small window. Ethan finally returned. Well? She asked. They refused. She closed her eyes. But I recorded everything, Ethan said. And I sent it to the Interstellar Human Alien Union. They will see the truth. Karela looked at him, heart pounding. And what if they come for us? Ethan smiled. Then we run. Outside, in the cold space between stars, a new story had begun. One no rulebook could erase. Because sometimes the greatest risk is not taking one at all. Asterisk. Karela lay still, her eyes fixed on the dark ceiling. Then it happened. A soft, strange thump deep inside her body. Once, then again. Her hand flew to her stomach. Ethan, she called. Something moved. The old cargo shelter was cold, but Karela didn't feel it. She sat on a soft bed, of old blankets, eyes wide. Her hand stayed on her belly. A second pulse, then a third. It was faint, but clear. Ethan rushed in. What is it? Are you hurt? Karela shook her head, breath shaking. No, it moved. I felt it. Ethan knelt beside her, pulling out the scanner. Let me check. He pressed the small device against her stomach. The screen glowed. For a moment, it showed nothing. Then a rhythm, a tiny heartbeat, strong and steady. Karela gasped. Ethan smiled. There it is. That's a real heartbeat. Tears filled Karela's eyes, something rare for her kind. It's alive. More than alive, Ethan whispered. It's growing, For a long time, neither of them said anything. They just stared at the small screen, watching the beat of something new. Something impossible. A child. Their child. Later that day, the news spread fast. Someone had leaked the scan video. Karela's pregnancy was no longer a secret. Screens across the space station showed her name, her picture, and the words unauthorized hybrid pregnancy. Her people were divided. Some called her a disgrace. Others, a miracle. The leaders, however, were angry. The High Command issued a message. The pregnancy must be terminated for the safety of both species. Karela's heart dropped when she read those words. She turned to Ethan. They want to kill it. No, he said, already packing equipment. We won't let that happen. But where can we go? There's an old science vessel, abandoned after the last war. Still, floats near the asteroid ring. Karela looked at him. You've thought of this before? Ethan shrugged. I always make a backup plan, just in case. They escaped during power-down cycle. Karela wore a long cloak. Ethan carried supplies on his back. They moved through shadows, avoiding cameras. And guards. One final door stood between them and freedom. Karela placed her hand on the scare. Access denied. Of course, Ethan muttered. They changed codes. Karela stepped back, took a deep breath, and punched the control panel with all her strength. Sparks flew. The door creaked open. Ethan stared. Remind me never to make you angry. The old science vessel was cold and silent. Dust floated in the air. Machines blinked in sleep mode. But it was theirs. Safe, quiet, hidden. For now, Ethan set up a small med corridor. He used solar batteries to power the scan device. Every morning they checked. Every day, the heartbeat grew stronger. Karela watched her body change. Her armor no longer fit. Her steps grew slower. But her spirit, her fire only grew brighter. I feel like a mother, she said one evening. Ethan smiled. You are. But what if it's not accepted? Not by humans, not by my kind. Ethan sat beside her. Then we raise it ourselves. And we teach them both what love looks like. Karela turned to him. You would stay, even if both worlds reject us? I already chose, Ethan said. I chose you. That night, Karela placed Ethan's hand on her belly. The heartbeat thumped beneath his fingers. He looked up at her, eyes filled with wonder. She smiled. You hear that? He nodded. It's proof, she whispered, that I was never broken. Just waiting for the right person to see me. Asterisk and lights flashed across the ship's broken walls. Karela held her breath as loud footsteps approached. Then a voice boomed through the speaker. By order of the High Command Karela of Val, Nara is to be captured and exiled immediately. Karela knew this moment would come. She stood at the center of the old science ship, her hand over her stomach. The heartbeat inside her still pulsed steady and strong. But now the threat outside was just as real. Ethan rushed in from the corridor, out of breath. They found us, he said quickly. A patrol cruiser just entered orbit. Karela's jaw tightened. How? They tracked your biosignature, Ethan said. It was only a matter of time. She looked down. Then they want the baby gone. Ethan stepped forward. We won't let them. We still have one choice escape before they dock. The ship shook. A blast had hit one of the side engines. Karela braced herself. They're not warning us anymore. They're attacking. Ethan grabbed a pack of supplies and tossed it to her. Get to the rear pod. There's a small shuttle. If we're lucky, it still works. What about you? She asked. I'm coming with you. No, Ethan, if you stay, you can go back. You can explain. I'm not going back without you. I already told you. I chose this. Karela stared at him. Even if it means losing everything? Ethan nodded. If it means saving you, and that child, it's worth it. The two ran through the narrow halls of the science ship. Sirens echoed behind them. The air felt heavier with every step. Guards boarded from the front. Kairela of Valinara. One called out over comms. You are declared unstable and dangerous. Surrender immediately. Kairela hissed under her breath. They speak of me like I'm a weapon. To them, Ethan said, you are. Because you broke their rules. They reached the shuttle. Old, dusty, half buried in crates. Ethan powered it up. No fuel, he whispered. We'll only make it halfway. Kairela didn't hesitate. Halfway is better than dying here. Ethan turned to her. Where would we even go? Kairela looked at the star map. There's a farming moon. No law, no censors. Just peace. If we reach orbit, we can send a signal to one of your outposts. They might help. He nodded. Let's go. As the shuttle launched, they saw the patrol cruiser in the distance. A voice cracked through their ship's comms. Final warning. Surrender the hybrid child, or be destroyed. Ethan looked at Kairela. Do we answer? She stared into the stars and said, no. The shuttle sped past the edge of the station. Shots fired behind them, but missed. They were free. For now, the farming moon was dry, quiet, and covered in hills and forests. The locals were few, mostly traders and ex-soldiers. No questions. No rules. Kairela and Ethan built a small home in a cave near the trees. Warm. Safe. Past. Kairela's body changed more each day. The baby inside grew strong. She could feel it moving, kicking, living. Every night, Ethan read old human stories to the growing child. Sometimes about Earth, sometimes about stars. This child, Ethan whispered, will belong to both our worlds. Kairela would lie still, watching the sky, holding Ethan's hand. I don't care if our people never understand, she said, as long as you're here. I'll always be here, Ethan promised. One morning, Kairela stepped outside the cave and saw a bright flash in the sky. Not a star, a ship. She felt her breath catch. Were they found again? The storm outside howled like a wounded beast. Inside the cave, Kairela clutched her stomach and whispered, Ethan, I can't feel it move anymore. Her voice trembled. Ethan dropped everything. Stay with me, he said. We're not losing this baby. Not now. The cold season had come early on the farming moon. Thick snow covered the ground. Wind screamed through the forest. Even inside the cave, the cold bit deep into their bones. Ethan worked every day, collecting wood, hunting small animals, and keeping their fire alive. But Kairela's condition was getting worse. Her steps were slow now, her skin pale. The baby had once kicked every morning strong and playful. Now, the movement had stopped. She sat near the fire, her arms wrapped around her belly. Worry filled her eyes. Ethan came in with fresh water and saw her face. What is it? He asked. Kairela looked up, her voice weak. It hasn't moved all day. Ethan rushed to the scanner and brought it over. His hands shook as he powered. It on. The screen flickered. For a moment, nothing. No light. No sound. Kairela turned away, tears in her eyes. But then a flicker. A small pulse appeared. Then another. Heartbeat. It's still alive. Ethan breathed. Faint, but still fighting. Kairela cried silently, holding her stomach. I thought I lost it. You didn't, Ethan said. But we're running out of time. Your body is weak. The child is struggling. Kairela nodded. I need help. Real help. Ethan stood. Then I'll get it. The next morning, Ethan packed a small bag and wrapped himself in thick cloth. The nearest outpost, an old human supply station, was 5 days away. I'll come with you, Kareli sighed. No, Ethan said gently. You need to rest. Stay warm. Keep eating. I'll return. She held his face. Come back safe. Ethan kissed her forehead. I promise. Then he was gone into the storm. The days were long. Karela sat by the fire, whispering to the child inside her. She told stories of stars and war, of how she met a strange human who didn't see her as a mistake. She sang old songs from her homeworld. Her voice cracked, but she kept singing. Sometimes she felt the baby move. Other times she felt nothing. She waited and waited on the 5th day. The firewood ran out. On the 6th, food was gone. On the 7th day, the cold grew sharper. Her body weaker. She tried to stand, but fell. The cave spun around her. Her hand dropped to her stomach. Please, she whispered. Don't leave me. Then a sound. Footsteps. She looked toward the cave entrance. A shadow. Then light. Then Ethan. He fell to his knees, shaking, covered in snow. Karela crawled to him. You came back. He held up a warm box. Medical kit, food, heat. Pax. She wrapped her arms around him. You saved us. No, Ethan whispered, looking at her belly. We saved each other. That night, the scanner glowed again. This time, the heartbeat was stronger. And Karela felt the baby kick. She laughed, really laughed. 4. The first time in months. Ethan sat beside her. We're almost there. Karela nodded. Almost. But even joy was mixed with fear, because she knew the time was close, and the birth would not be easy. Asterisk. Karela screamed through clenched teeth. Outside, snow fell quietly. Inside the cave, Ethan held her hand tight. Push, Karela. Just once more. And then a sound filled the room. A cry. Small, sharp, alive. The pain was like nothing Karela had known. Her warrior battles, broken bones, and training wounds were nothing compared to this. Her body shook. Sweat ran down her forehead. Her muscles screamed, but she didn't stop. She couldn't. The child was ready. Ethan knelt beside her, voice calm, but his hands trembled. You're doing great. You're almost there, he said again and again. Karela gripped his arm, digging her claws into his skin. If I die, raise her. Teach her strength. You're not dying, Ethan said. You're bringing her into the world. Karela gave one final push, and then it happened. A small cry filled the cave. High and clear. Ethan caught the child in his hands, his eyes wide with disbelief. She's beautiful, he whispered. Karela collapsed back, exhausted, heart pounding. Let me see her, she said weakly. Ethan placed the baby into her arms. She had soft purple skin like Karela's, but her eyes were blue just like Ethan's. A perfect blend of both worlds. Karela stared down at her daughter, tears streaming down her cheeks. She's mine, she whispered. They said I could never, but I did. Ethan kissed her forehead. You did more than survive. You created something no one believed possible. The storm passed. Word of the child spread fast. A trader from the farming moon had seen Ethan. Gathering supplies, noticed Karela's condition, and told others. Soon, messages began to arrive, secret ones, from humans. From young aliens, from scientists and mothers, and rebels. All asking the same thing. Is it true? Did a child survive? Can you show us? Karela and Ethan didn't respond. Not at first. They stayed hidden, quiet, watching over their child, whom they named Lyra, which meant hope in both their languages. One night, Karela sat outside their cave, the stars bright above. Ethan joined her, holding baby Lyra in his arms. She's growing fast, he said. Karela nodded. She be strong. Stronger than me, Ethan smiled. And kind like her mother, Kyrela looked up at the stars. Do you think the world is ready for her? I don't know, Ethan said. But I think she's ready for the world. Few days later, Kyrela sent a message across the stars. It had no threats. No arguments. No begging. Just one short video. It showed her holding Lyra close. The baby laughing, tiny fingers grabbing at her armor. And her words were simple. They told me I could never be a mother. They were wrong. They said she shouldn't exist. But here she is alive, whole and full of light. If that scares you, maybe it's time to change your world. That video spread faster than any law. Some called it a miracle. Others called it dangerous. But many called it the beginning. Because in that small cave, far from power and war and politics, a new future had been born, one heartbeat at a time. The end asterisk.